Good morning, my dear children. Welcome back to our economics class. Today, we are going to discuss about the importance of rural banking in our economic development. The rural banks, they play an important role to provide credit for the farmers in our country. The rapid expansion of the rural banking system had a positive effect on rural farm and non-farm output, income and employment, especially after the Green Revolution. It helped the farmers to avail the services and credit facilities and a variety of loans for meeting their production needs. We have now achieved the food security which is reflected in the abundant buffer stock of grains. Except these commercial banks, other formal institutions have failed to develop a culture of deposit mobilization, lending to worthwhile borrowers and effective loan recoveries. Thus, the expansion and the promotion of the rural banking sector has taken a backseat after the reforms. So today, we'll discuss about the different rural banks and how they help to achieve the economic progress which leads to our rapid expansion of our economy. Rural banking in India started since the establishment of the banking sector in India. As the name suggests, includes banking organizations operating in rural or suburban background. Rural population of about 780 million with limited access to financial services. A high proportion of the rural lending is from informal sources. So children, you would have studied in your earlier classes last year about the formal sources as well as the informal sources. Formal sources means all banking institutions, that is commercial banks, cooperative banks and other, which are the specialized banks which provide credit for the rural people. Informal sources means which are the agents, that is brokers as well as this money lenders, commission agents. So these are the different types of informal sources, those who engage in lending activities. About 500 to 600 million people in India still do not have bank accounts. Rural economy constitutes about 50% of the GDP. Current demand for credit in rural India is around rupees 1,33,000 crores. Commercial bank branches cover only 7% of the rural sector and large market is still untapped. So children, from this we have to understand that many of the rural areas, they do not have the bank accounts. Here we can see that 500 to 600 million people resides in India, but most of them do not have bank accounts. And the rural economy, they constitute about 50% of the GDP. So that is the half percentage of GDP is contributed by the rural economy. And the demand for the credit is also around rupees 1,33,000 crores. The commercial bank branches cover only 7% of the rural sector and large market is still untapped. So from this we have to understand that is the major credit is contributed by the informal sources. So that is informal lending. Which are they? The large set of lenders ranging from money lenders, financiers, landlords, traders and shopkeepers, friends and relatives. These are the informal lending sources. Which are they? Money lenders, financiers, landlords, traders, shopkeepers, friends and relatives. Then high interest rates also. That is, whatever the credit given by the informal lending sources, they charge high interest rate for such loans also. Interest overpass the principal amount. The debt passes from one generation to another. Wrong calculation of interest amount. So these are the limitations of all these informal lending sources. That is, I told you that is the interest rate charged by these money lenders is very high. The second one is, that is the recovery of the loans. That is also what is less only. Why? Because they can't repay the loans at the correct time. They are not having enough income to repay the loans. So that is, the redeemable capacity of the poorer sections is very low. And what happened? So it leads to the wrong calculation of the interest amount also. So these are the main weakness of the, which one? The informal lending sources. In 1975, that is, the GOI set up Narasimham Committee to learn various cultural issues which are hindering the commercial banks to lend to the farmers. Because the farmers, they are actually, these commercial banks, they should provide loans to this rural people. On the basis of these committees' recommendations, a regional rural banks ordinance was passed in September 1975, which was replaced by the Regional Rural Banks Act 1976. Regional rural banks came into existence in 1975 on Gandhi Jayanti with the formation of Prathama Gramin Bank. So this is the main bank which provide the credit to the rural people also. Which is that? That is regional rural banks, and which was passed, that is in 1975 September, which was replaced by the Regional Rural Banks Act 1976 also. So the regional rural banks came into existence on 1975 on Gandhi Jayanti, 2nd October, with the formation of Prathama Gramin Bank. So these are the three major rural banking sectors. Which are they? First one is regional rural banks. Second one is cooperative banks. Third one is National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. These are the three major banks which provide the credit facilities for the rural people. So third one is NABARD. Actually it is called as NABARD. The full form is the National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. So these are the three major banks which provide credit to the rural people. Then these regional rural banks are mainly owned by the central government, state government and sponsor banks also. So these regional rural banks not only owned by the state, it's owned by the central government also, state government also and other sponsor banks also. But what is the current scenario of these regional rural banks? It is mostly running into losses. Currently, the regional rural banks are going through a process of amalgamation and consolidation to prevent the losses. So, I told you that if the sector run into losses, what we usually do, we will just through a process of amalgamation and the consolidation, we will just consolidate with other banks and we can just prevent the losses of this banks also. Presently, there are 56 regional rural banks in our country. Some of the most famous regional rural banks are Allahabad UP Grameen Bank, Punjab Grameen Bank, Dena Gujarat Grameen Bank, Uttarakhand Grameen Bank, and Pradhama Bank, etc. So these are the regional, most famous regional rural banks in our country. Which are they in India? Allahabad, Punjab, Dena, Uttarakhand, as well as the Pradhama